Hello, welcome to another wiki procedure, and today we're going to look on how you can apply for a mortgage loan as a civil servant in Kenya. Down here below, we have given you a link which is going to direct you to a wiki procedure website page where we are giving you detailed information on how you can go about the application process. Additionally, on the right hand side of our screen, we have given you a select language option through which you can select the language which is easy for you to understand. And by clicking on this downward pointing arrow, you can access a list of languages here. And for example, by choosing Swahili, all the information on our wiki procedure website page will be translated and displayed in Swahili. You can easily revert back to English by clicking on the downward pointing arrow and choosing English once again. You have included external links to other websites which you can visit and get more information on how you can go about the application process. And we have also given you detailed information on how to go about the application process. We are going to go through this process as we move on with our presentation today. But before we move on, I will urge you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe and notification bell so you can get notifications every time we upload new content on our wiki procedure YouTube page. So let's get back to our presentation. The list of items which you're going to cover in this session include the need for the mortgage, the eligibility criteria, the required documents, steps to follow in making the applications, the fees, the validity period, the processing time, office location and contact information, and any other information that we may find relevant on how to apply for a mortgage loan for civil servants in Kenya. So welcome to our presentation today, which is brought to you by wikiprocedure.com. The need for the mortgage loan. The objective of the mortgage loan scheme is to provide housing loan facilities to civil servants for the purpose of either purchasing or constructing a residential house, developing housing units for sale or for rental purposes, and raising funds for the implementation of the above. The eligibility criteria is as follows. Only serving civil servants are eligible to apply for the loans, and eligibility for the loan shall be for a civil servant who has been confirmed in employment, provided that any civil servant on contract term shall have an expired contract period of more than 12 months and will be eligible for the application. The required documents: you need a certified copies of the last 3 original pay slips, certified copies of identification documents, staff identity card, original letter from employer confirming employment status, beneficiary ID card, next of kin identity card, and 1 passport size photograph. This application can only be done in person, and you should note that interested civil servants should express their interest by registering with the Civil Servants Housing Scheme Fund. That's the Civil Servants Housing Scheme Fund, HSF. First of all, the applicant should apply by filling an application to the application form from the loan through the administrator of the Civil Serving Housing Scheme Fund in the Ministry of Land, Housing and Urban Development. The application for a loan for construction purposes shall be accompanied by the following documents where applicable. You should accompany it by a copy of the designs of the proposed residential property duly approved by relevant authorities within whose area is to be situated. B. Priced bills of quantities in respect of the proposed development and proof of ownership of the land which the construction is to be carried out. And B, an application for a loan to purchase a house shall be accompanied together with the following documents: a certified copy for the sale of agreement relating to the purchase, proof of ownership of the property by seller, proof of availability of funds, and any other documents that the committee may require for the purpose of determining the application. After that, the duly completed forms should be returned to the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. The administrator will then verify which application is eligible, if the applicant is eligible, and the list of eligible applicants will then be forwarded to the mortgage finance institutions. The government has partnered with mortgage finance institutions to finance the eligible applicants, and the list of the applicants will be forwarded to these mortgage finance institutions. After that, the applicant will then formally apply for the loan with the mortgage finance institution upon being approved by the Ministry of Land and Housing and Urban Development. The application then is subjected to appraisal criteria among other normal lending requirements by the mortgage finance institution, and upon approval the applicant will be informed accordingly as the funds are disbursed to him or her, and is required to deposit 5% of the value of the property before the funds are disbursed to him or her. Rejected applications will be returned to the administrator of the schemes with reasons for rejection. So as before we continue, let me just mention all application forms are provided by the Civil Servant Housing Fund Scheme in the Ministry of Land, Housing and Urban Development, and are not available online. So as a civil servant, you can visit that scheme, that department, and get the application forms. So the application fee is free of charge. The validity, the loan payment is valid for the period it's applied for. The processing time usually takes 3 months to complete. The office location of the Ministry of Transport, Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, they're located at State Department and Housing and Urban Development in Nairobi, Kenya. You can visit them through their website of www.housingandurban.go.ke. Other information is that since the inception, the scheme has facilitated more than 3,000 civil servants to access housing, and this has been achieved through housing finance loans or sale of houses constructed through this scheme. To grant housing loans to civil servants, the scheme has partnered with 2 mortgage financing institutions, that is Home and Loan for KCB, that's Kenya Commercial Bank, and Housing Finance, which have nationwide coverage. So you can choose either of these 2 mortgage financing institutions, either Kenya Commercial Bank or Housing Finance, after your loan has been your application has been deemed eligible by the Ministry of Housing. So that's it for the application, and thank you for watching. But before we conclude our presentation, I will urge you, let's just reiterate quickly, depending on the nature of the application, if you want to build or if you want to construct or purchase a house, you are supposed to visit the Civil Servants Housing Scheme Fund, and this is and these are located in the Ministry of Transport, Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development. This is the department there. So you should approach the department, and through the administrator of the CSHSF make application for either construction or buying, and just fill the loans, fill the application forms, attach the relevant documents which are required, and after that submit the forms, and the administrator will then verify if you are eligible, and if you are eligible, a list is usually sent after every 2 months to these financial institutions, the mortgage financial institutions, which are KCB and Housing Finance. And after once you'll be notified if your name has been forwarded to either of these financial institutions, but it's upon you to choose which financial institution you want to get your loan from. So once you get your loan from your loan, you're supposed to pay 5% of the amount for the funds to be dispersed, and it's that simple. So thank you for watching. Before we conclude, I'll urge you to hit the like button for this video, hit the subscribe button, and also hit the notification bell so you can get notifications every time we upload new content on our Wiki Procedure YouTube channel. So thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best.